Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports, where New Zealand have just beaten the Springboks 35 points to 23 at Ellis Park, and two sort of sections of 10-minute blitzes really from the All Blacks that were too much for the South Africans, and a very frustrating performance from the home side, who did so well to claw back from being 15-0 down to actually taking the lead before then really slipping down to two late tries. But what an absolutely epic test match. I mean, so many, we're talking about 58 points being scored. Some brilliant tries, some brilliant performances, and a New Zealand performance that was very much needed, you know. And I think this is the biggest thing. And a lot of people I don't think have written the All Blacks off. But we kept waiting to see this performance from them. We kept waiting to see a response. Well, unfortunately, the Springboks were on the end of that response. And we saw a brilliant sort of pasture play where they scored two tries in quick succession in the first half. And then once again, another two tries in quick succession right at the latter stages of the game. Before we break down the game, please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. So the game started in the worst possible way for the Springboks after Damien Willemse was shown a yellow card in the 3rd minute. Thankfully for the home side, no points were scored while he was off the park. The All Blacks opened the scoring as Richie Mo'unga slotted a penalty in the 24th minute. And then they really, that was like a bit of a shift in momentum. That penalty, we saw the All Blacks suddenly playing proper rugby. You know, they were running hard, they were finding space, they were getting over the advantage line, and they went bang, try Sam Cane 27 minutes, bang, Samasoni Takawaho at 32 minutes. And all of a sudden, we're sitting at 15-0 down. After being 0-0 24 by 35, or 34 rather, we were 15-0 down. So 15 points in 10 minutes. Really put us on the back foot. We then emptied the bench. We put on Stephen Kitsoff. We put on Malcolm Marx. We put on Jasper Wiese as well for Dwayne Vermeulen. And we hit our own try. Very nice try scored by Lekanya. The injury to JC Creel was a massive swing in the early stages. He went off in about the 6th or 7th minute. As a result, we saw a whole rejig of the back line. Delaney to outside centre. Lekanya on the wing. Villaloo at full back. Damien Willemse at inside centre. Lekanya went over in the 36th minute part, adding the extras. So at half-time, 15 points to 7. Box still in the game, but chasing it. And it was a perfect start because we did get a penalty early on. We added the extras. Half-time 15 points to 10, rather. And then 45 minutes, we get a penalty. They hit one back. And it was a bit frustrating. And I think a lot of people talk about Luke Pearce and his performance. And I think there were a couple of very frustrating calls. One of them being the fact that Jaden Henderson was penalised. Lekanya set up what was thought was going to be one of the best tries of the year. When Pimpy went over, they then went back to look at it, and there was an obstruction. They penalised Jaden Henderson for stepping in the way. Now, if we go back in the first half, for example, there was a kick chase from Michael Pimpy in the New Zealand 22 in a very kickable position where David Havili very clearly changed the running line and took him out. And they never, the Springboks asked and said he changed the line, never looked at it, never thought about it. So that's 3 points, for example. Now, again, it's not going to be a big difference because it was a 12-point swing. And that's why I said during the live stream, in many ways, I was glad they scored the second try. So it's not going to be a 3-point game where you sit there going, but that call could have been a difference. Makazole Pimpy went over in the 58th minute just after the try was initially disallowed. Brilliant try. Malcolm Marx with a clutch turnover. Big pass to the top from Damien Willemse and a very good finish from the Pimpy. Pollard then added the extras in the 67th minute. And we kind of thought that after the yellow card to Beauden Barrett, that you thought that we had the momentum, we were going to go on and do it. But credit to the All Blacks because they got to the last 10 minutes and they found a second wind. David had really a brilliant finish after a fantastic run from Rico Awani in the 73rd. Richie Mo'unga with the conversion. Scott Barrett in the 78th minute. And Mo'unga adding the extras. If you look at some of the stats, 57% possession for the Springboks, 43 for the All Blacks, and opposite of last week. 2 tries to 4. All Blacks running more meters. Box had more carries. Springboks missing 11 tackles. And I think this week, you talk about the fact that the Springboks will miss tackles, but it's the type of missed tackles. And there were far too many one-on-one tackles, far too many tackles being slipped by the Springboks today. So quite frustrating. But in the end, again, it was a performance that New Zealand needed, and they needed to respond. And they did respond. So credit goes to them because we saw fight in New Zealand that we haven't seen during the Irish series, that we didn't see in the first test. And I think it actually just made for a great test match. So as Springbok fans, it'll be frustrating because we should have won that game, could have won that game. but we didn't. And we will lose matches, and we can't freak out when we do. So it's frustrating because we should have won the game. And, if we were to lose the Rugby Championship, I'd be frustrated because you look back at this game and think we weren't far away, actually, from winning it. But defense is the ultimate issue. And unfortunately, we also did look quite tired on our feet, which was strange considering that it was at altitude. We kind of thought that we'd be able to punish them rather than they punish us. Let me know what you thought about the game down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.